I'm Goma Karki. I'm a senior math and environmental science double major. And for my research, I have 2 papers here. This one I did in Cambodia when I was studying abroad. And here I was doing a baseline study of fish population in Bantiase district. I was catching fish and trying to see what kind of fish I can find in this area. This area is currently being planned. They're planning to use this as a ecotourism place. So before they start doing any of their work, they wanted to see what kind of fish diversity they have in the area. So my study mine was the first study. They never had any kind of study before. So it gave them an idea of what kind of fish population they can find in the area. We didn't know much about the history of the area. So we thought this was a natural lake. And as we started doing more and more research, talking to the neighbors, we found out this was man-made. So this was made 40 years before we started our research. So that was interesting because this just happened to be there because it wasn't there. And when we started our research, we thought it was all natural. So we were all thinking about the ecosystem and the ecosystem created by this lake. And when we found this was man-made, then we had to change our idea of how the fish got there, where are they coming from. We started to look more into the source of the lake because we thought this was a natural spring, and it turned out it was not. When we started our research, we had the hypothesis that because we thought this was a natural spring, we would have more blackfish, saying that because it's a lake, so those would be fish that would be more impacted by pollutions, and they would be able to survive in that area. But because this was man-made and there were like natural water sources coming in, and we found more of the white fish that is like more migratory fish to the area. So that was super interesting, and that kind of told us we need to look into history as well. We cannot just assume things as they are. This one looks into the impact of Hurricane Irma and Maria. I wanted to look this data because it was interesting when I was looking at the hurricane impacts on fish population. I couldn't find studies that looked into pre and post hurricane, usually because they don't have pre-hurricane data, but for us we had pre-hurricane data and post-hurricane data. I wanted to look at if there is any change because there was hurricane on the fish population. What I found for now is because we just had data for 3 years, we don't see the huge impact on fish population. It turns out we cannot just see short-term impact because fish can swim from one part to the other part. When I did my calculation, I was just thinking about numbers. I wasn't thinking about the fish population and their movement. It was surprising. It was not common sense, but when I started looking more into it, it made sense in the sense that fish can move, and then we need to look for long-term changes than the short-term changes.